So I followed your journey before Boys Planet. I had seen you doing a lot of stuff here in the U.S. So, you know, when you found out that you were finally making your official debut, what was that first thought or reaction?
Oh, when I first heard that I was going to finally debut, I would say I definitely felt very excited, but also relieved to be able to just finally be able to put out my own music and have everybody who's been waiting for something like this to happen for a long time, something to finally listen to. Um, I would say after all of the shows and plenty of I would say like the fan meets and the concerts that we would have like all those years ago back in 2021 up until now have definitely helped me with my not only musical identity but also with just being comfortable with performing and all that stuff. So being able to actually perform my own music and being able to give all the fans something to actually listen to just made me very excited and happy. So.
Yeah, and speaking of the fans, you had a large fan base before Boys Planet, and you had people all across the world waiting for your debut. So can you tell me a little bit how you've seen your fan base grow in the past few years?
Yeah, never would I have ever really expected it to grow to this extent. After under 19, there was a large period where I had just kind of not really seen myself coming back to music, but I'm really glad that I did. And being able to sing for everybody is really just a dream come true. So thank you to everybody for really believing in me. And hopefully now I can give back to all those people that have been supporting me, not only through the tours, but also Boys Planet, and now through the debut.
So you would have what I would say to be like a perfect debut album. You can truly just hear how much you have wanted this and how much work you put into it. And especially I guess with the music video as well, just the story of that. It kind of shows you and really kind of your journey through this. So how was the process of preparing for this album?
Oh, well, first of all, I don't know if I would describe it as perfect, but that definitely is very flattering to hear. The process behind the album was actually very fun. The title Late Night was something that I had personally picked out, and we kind of moved into the direction of a late night kind of Conan O'Brien kind of theme of the album, and we kind of did that to symbolize how when I was a kid I would watch videos of my dad performing on shows like that, and we wanted to kind of emulate some sort of story where I was kind of watching my dad and getting dreams, but at the same time it's me, and yeah, it's kind of confusing to think about, but being able to be part of that creative process was really a lot of fun. And I actually wrote a majority of the songs on the album, so just the kind of the pride that comes along with really putting together something that I can really call my own has been really a wonderful experience, and I'm really glad that everybody has been enjoying the songs because we're really satisfied about it. I keep saying really, I apologize for that.
Tell me about the tracks on the album. Is there any song that's more important to you than the others by any chance?
Oh, well, they all have their own significance, whether it be through the creativity of it or the lyrics or just the style of the songs, but I guess the song that means the most to me being on the album is definitely Sunlight, because that one is my own composition. Not only did I write the lyrics, but I also wrote the music, and this is actually probably, I think it's the second song that I've ever written. I wrote it back in 2020 when everyone was having a hard time during the Corona era. So and the reason why it means so much to me is because even though the song is very bright and happy, it was when I was living in Korea for the first time and I was feeling very homesick and missing all my friends and family. And instead of writing a song that was sad, I wanted to kind of take that negativity and turn it into something positive and kind of give more light to the darkness. And so I named it Sunlight, and I'm really glad to see that everybody has been putting their own interpretations into the song, and that's really what art is all about. So I would say that Sunlight is definitely, probably, for me, the most significant song on the album.
And speaking of Sunlight, a fan actually wanted to know: do you plan to release any other of your like composed tracks in the future?
Oh, for sure. A personal goal of mine has been to definitely put at least one of my own personal compositions on each album release going forward. But the thing with that is it's a little bit difficult because I'm very picky when it comes to the way that I want my music to sound. So if a certain track isn't ready by the time an album has to come out, then it'll go to the next one and all that. But I can assure you that I'm definitely working hard to make sure each album has a 100% J track on it. And yeah, please stay tuned for that.
Speaking of Sunlight, once again, you know that's your fandom name that you just released recently. Obviously, the track has a lot of significance to you, but what was the reasoning behind making that your fandom name?
So kind of to go back on a little bit of a dark kind of period in my life. When I did write Sunlight, it was a pretty emotionally difficult period of time for me personally. And so after a lot of discussion, after a lot of consideration with my staff about what we should name it, they agreed that Sunlight would be very meaningful because not only does it mean something to me on a personal level because it's pretty much centered around the song that I wrote, but it also has a lot of sentimental value and significance, specifically when trying to kind of convey to the fans about how they are the lightness to my darkness, and because of them I've been feeling nothing but warmth. And I in the lyrics of the song there's a lyric that goes memories to cherish, everything that I ever wished was that warmth inside my soul, and all of the love that I've been receiving lately has helped me feel that warmth. And so I thought that there would be no more fitting of a name than Sunlight.
This album reminds me kind of like of a lot of early 2000s American songs, I guess, especially Up to You, which has kind of become like my most repeated song at this point. So is this style something you want to continue for your future releases, this genre?
Late Night specifically was a very experimental album. Every song on it is completely different. Rockstar with like the new Jack Swings vibe, and I'll Be There with the more kind of like the way I grew up with 2000s rock, and Up to You with that R&B. So growing up, I definitely had a very varying musical influence, and while I do want to experiment a little bit more with different styles, I would say songs especially like Up to You are definitely more of a personal preference for me. Up to You originally wasn't supposed to be on the album at all, but I just personally liked that style, that R&B style, so much that I convinced our CEO to let me put it on the album and write the lyrics for it. So I'm really glad that I actually was able to get the song out. And yeah, I would say definitely that R&B tone, that R&B style, the soul kind of direction is definitely a direction that I would love to explore a little bit more in the future.
I know you talked about your dad, who was a big musical inspiration for you, but are there any other artists that you kind of grew up listening to that kind of shaped the artist that you wanted to be?
At least vocally, a lot of artists that kind of helped shape my style are names like Bruno Mars, Daniel Caesar, Sam Smith is in there as well, Korean artist Sam Kim, Park Kyo-shin as well. These are Kim Jae-won. Yeah, there's just a lot of different styles of singers that I would listen to and kind of try to form a style with. Musically, I mean, I could go on all day, really, but yeah, I would say at least vocally, those were probably the biggest influences on my development as a vocalist.
We've got to get like a Park Hyoshin Wildflower cover at some point. Then
Oh,
I
okay,
feel like
okay.
that's one that everyone's got to do at least once.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean that's a definitely, if you can pull that one off.
So even though you've been promoting yourself for years now, I think Boys Planet truly changed your career. It got your name out to so many more people that may not have seen you under 19 or seen you here in the U.S. So how did that process of joining the show go for you?
It was such a roller coaster, really. I remember the first time we saw that there was going to be auditions for the new Mnet survival show, Boys Planet. It was something that I just personally had a lot of interest in. I remember going to the CEO and being like, I would love to try auditioning for this Boys Planet program. And just something inside me was like, after under 19, it was really unfortunate that I was so inexperienced and really just juvenile as a performer back then. And I would love to kind of show everyone again that I've improved and hopefully see where I could go with it. And they were all for it. So we put together an audition, sent it in. Unfortunately, after a while, there was no response, and we had saw an article come out saying that the auditions have finished for Boys Planet, and there's this many trainees from this many companies. And then I would kind of just been like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Well, at least I tried. Hopefully there'll be another opportunity in the future. A couple of weeks go by, and then I get a call from the CEO being like, oh, they want to have a meeting with you all of a sudden. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to complain about that. So I went on a Zoom call with one of the main writers of the show. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning because at this time I was in America, and I had to sing a bunch of songs and dance. I remember having to sing Energetic by 101 at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was a little bit tough, but the audition ended, and I remember after like maybe a week or so, the CEO messaged me again saying, the writers actually didn't know that you had to sing at 5 o'clock, and they were kind of amazed, so you've been decided to go on to the show. And then I was like, oh wow. So more than being excited, I was kind of like just determined and ready to kind of prove myself once again through a survival show. And I would say that I was able to accomplish that goal pretty well.
So going on a show like this with so many people, there's always artists that aren't showcased on the show enough. And you were known as one of the best vocalists on the show. But going on, were you worried that you wouldn't get that chance to be seen, or did you really just believe in your talent that would kind of like push you into the spotlight?
During the second mission home, I had kind of become a little bit sick, so my voice wasn't coming out properly, and I felt very anxious that, oh, I had been able to show myself so well through Rush Hour and Love Me Right, and then the next thing is home, and yeah, that one didn't go as well as I would have liked it to, but I'm just glad really that I was able to kind of prove myself once more with Over Me by doing the ad-libs and all that stuff. And I'm just glad that even though I didn't make it into Zero Base 1, I'm just glad that my original goal of just proving myself as a vocalist and showing how much I've improved since under 19, I'm just glad that I'm just glad that I was able to fully showcase that improvement to everybody, and hearing all of the positive words and all of the encouragement has been an absolutely life-changing experience for me.
I'm sure, like, obviously it was probably a little bit upsetting not making the final lineup, but what were some of the biggest lessons you think you learned from going on the show?
I would say because of Boys Planet, I've definitely become more well-rounded as a performer in general. The years after under 19 and before Boys Planet, I took to definitely kind of sharpen my skills as a singer, but being able to spend all those months together with these just really talented performers on the show definitely taught me a lot about how I need to look on stage, what kind of stage manners I needed, facial expressions, just dancing in general. And I would say that it was truly a once in a lifetime experience, and hopefully I can use that experience to give better stages in the future.
So, as someone who has held events in multiple countries, how has the experience been in each place? Or how have they been different? Are there any specific places or events that stand out?
Oh, for sure. I mean, besides American fans are always very warm, and it's like talking to friends all the time. And being able to perform in Asia this time for the very first time has been such an eye-opening experience. I did shows in Taipei, Thailand, and Japan, aside from Korea. And every single place that we've been to, all the people have just been so welcoming and warm. And it felt so comfortable just being able to perform for everybody. And because they're also close geographically, there's sometimes fans that I see in Korea that are also at the Japan shows, that are also at the Taipei shows and the Thailand shows. So getting to see new faces as well as familiar faces is just such a heartwarming experience. And also seeing all of the relationships between the fans that are cultivating because of these shows is really awesome to see, because you never really think about the community building aspect of doing these kinds of shows, but seeing everyone just be so kind to each other and meet new friends through these events that we hold is just such a bittersweet and heartwarming thing to see. And I'm really glad that we have these kinds of events because of reasons like that. So I can't wait to travel to more places and see everyone make new friends and really just build an amazing community.
First, you had Boys Planet this year. You have your solo debut now, and it was released that you'll be joining One Pact. So, what was the excitement like for adding that onto your kind of roster of life events?
Oh, well, there's pros and cons to doing both solo activities and group activities, and there's just a bunch of different sides of me that I can show in both contexts. And I just thought, what better way to show those sides than to just do both? There's a lot of people that want me to only do solo and a lot of people that only want me to do group stuff. So, just doing both at the same time seemed like the right idea. Sure, it's a little bit more busy, but being busy is better than not being busy. So I'm just really glad that I can not only show my specialties as a solo artist, but also being able to perform with the friends that I made through Boys Planet and being able to try out doing boy group activities is just a pleasure, because not many people in my position have that privilege to do both. But just being able to have the honor to do both is amazing. And I can confidently say that One Pact is like a family, and I'm sure all the fans would love to see us together more. So yeah, and the music that we're recording is really good. I got the files today for what's it called? I got the files today for the debut album, and the songs are really good, so I hope everybody looks forward to it.
Yeah, Boys Planet really had some of the it's probably one of the most successful survival shows, because everyone is doing stuff now. Everyone's in a group or they're going solo. So you all are just doing so well, even if you didn't make that final lineup.
Yeah, I would say one thing I didn't expect at all going into Boys Planet was becoming so close with all of the other guys. I forged a lot of life-altering relationships on that show, like Camden and Chong Young and Matt and Ricky. All of the people on that show really just hold such a special place in my heart. And seeing everybody coming out with their own stuff has been such an awesome thing to see. Everyone has been just sending each other messages of congratulations, and I would say definitely one of the best experiences of my life. and it's so great to see everybody thriving in their own way now.
What are your future goals for your music career?
Goal wise, I would say just as an artist, my goal is no different than most artists in the world, where I just want to be able to live off of my music and live a happy life, just performing that music to anyone willing to listen to it, whether it's in a solo setting, the group setting, whatever it may be. I'm just happy to just be making the art that I want to create, and I'm grateful that I have so many supporters that love the stuff that I make. I would definitely, at a more materialistic standpoint, I would say being able to perform in a stadium, especially Chang Stadium, which is the same stadium that me and the other 17 finalists of Boys Planet were able to perform in. I think being able to perform there again as my own artist, whether it be with One Pact or as a solo artist, would be a truly big honor. And yeah, I would say just getting to complete all these side quests and 100% life is going to be the biggest challenge for me, but I'm really happy to see where it all goes.
And finally, as your fan base grows across the world, do you have a message to your fans across the world?
First of all, I do just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone that not only loves listening to my voice, but just believes in me. There's plenty of times where I don't believe in myself, so having all of you guys there doing it for me is very reassuring. I'm glad that ever since I was a kid, the only thing I've ever dreamed of doing was to be able to follow in the footsteps of my role models and become an artist and have a lot of people listen to the art that I create. And being able to see that dream come to life has not only been a privilege, but truly a gratifying experience. And I have no one to thank for that except for all of you guys that have my back and continue to show my music to other people, continue to listen to it. Just listening to it on its own is such an honor for me. Going forward, I want to continue being an artist that everybody can be proud of, everybody loves to listen to, and I can't wait to meet more of you guys in the future, whether it be through fan calls or in concerts, in person. And don't forget to continue to just spread happiness and positivity, whether it be in verbal form or through small acts of kindness. I say that there's definitely not enough kindness in this world, so one step at a time. Thank you guys so much for being by my side, and hopefully we can keep walking this road together.